Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, in the previous lecture we had done with the key national institutions. Basically in this lecture we are going to start with another important part. Okay, and this is going to be our financial knowledge. Okay, basically in financial knowledge we are going to cover various topics. Okay, and first we will start with the banking awareness. All right, financial knowledge is important for examination point of view, and for individuals' general ability. It's my urge to you, just do not focus on the exam. If you're just focusing what comes in the exam, you should only study these things. Let me tell you one thing, it will be difficult for you to survive the competitive environment of the examination. But if you learn the things for your general ability, for yourself, not for the exam, you will get an edge over the others who are preparing for the same. Okay, so that's why the financial knowledge is necessary. So basically the topics we are going to cover in the banking awareness for this starting lecture. Then we will start with the introduction part. Then we will look at the banking history. Okay, so let's first start with the introduction. So the banking awareness. Banking awareness refers to the knowledge and understanding of various aspects related to the banking and the financial sector. Now, my question is, what do you mean by bank? It is the first question which I would like to ask you. What do you mean by bank? What is a bank? Just think about it. You can say bank is a place to deposit money and take loan. Right? Right. Bank is basically a platform through which you can deposit your savings, the money you do not want to use now, you want to use it future, way to keep it, so you can keep it with the bank. In return, the bank will give you the interest. Right? And second thing is loan. Suppose you need a money. Right now you need a money, but you having the insufficient funds with you. Okay, then you have to borrow from somewhere, either from your family members, your friends, okay, you can say your office colleagues, wherever sources you have to borrow it. All right, but should prefer the banking sector to borrow it. Why? Because it is the formal sector and everything is on the terms and conditions and on record. All right. So whenever you go and borrow the loan and the amount from the bank, is bank give it to you free? No. The bank charges the interest over it. Okay. It means that if you are taking rupees 10,000 as a loan from the bank will provide you at 4% interest. It means that you have to pay a 4% interest if you take a loan. All right. So this is called the loan activity of bank. Okay. And if you deposit rupees 10,000 in bank, suppose the bank promise you to pay 2% interest every year. Okay, this is the saving activity of bank. Okay, we will have a discussion over it in this lecture. Till now I have just given you the basic overview. All right, so having the knowledge of this kind of functioning, how does all the things goes on, is known as the banking awareness. Okay, and it is also important from the financial sector because it is regarding the funds and money arrangement and management. Alright, now let's move forward. It encompasses a wide range of topics, including banking operations, how do the bank operates, financial products, means what are the services offered to the customers by the banks, banking regulations, how the banking activities control and what is the need of controlling the banking activities, monetary policies, it means that how the RBI using the banks to maintain the money supply in the economy, economic indicators, why the banks are important from the economic point of view, and current affairs related to the banking industry. It means that if something happened to the banking industries, which is very important to know, all these kind of things covers under the banking awareness section. All right. Banking awareness enables individuals to understand the financial terms, the concepts and the principles, empowering them to make informed decisions related to personal finance and investment. Suppose this is the XYZ bank. Okay, and this is you, Mr. A. Okay, you urgently required rupees 10,000 and you need to borrow it. So if you're not aware about the loan process, terms and conditions, what are the benefits and what are the disadvantages of borrowing the money from the banks, then how could you borrow the amount of 10,000 from it? Okay, and how you could maintain your financial stability. So that's why also it is very important to having a banking awareness. Okay. Moreover, it enhances their analytical and problem solving skills, allowing them to analyze financial data, interpret banking reports, and stay updated with developments in the financial market. Like suppose if you are an individual who is keenly, you can say interested in making career in banking field. In banking field. So the one thing you require most is the analytical and problem solving skills. Why? Because when banks deals, so banks deals in a huge number of transactions and claims with a good lump sum amount. Okay, you can say the more than thousands of transactions happened every day in the banks with a good number of amounts. So if you are not able to analyzing the claims and transactions and to solve the problems on time, then you are inefficient from the point of view of banking sector. All right, that's why it is necessary to having a complete knowledge. Banking awareness holds significant relevance in various competitive exams, especially those that assess candidates' knowledge of banking and financial sector. Like if you are going for IBPS, okay, PO or clerk, whatever exam you are going for, you must be aware about the banking awareness field and the financial awareness field, because that is the only way you can make it to the banking sector as a good career. Okay, now another point is dedicated banking sections. More, or you can say many competitive exams such as banking entrance exams, IBPS, SBI, government job exams like RBI and NABARD, and management entrance exams like CAT and ZET have dedicated sections on the banking awareness, because somehow if you crack these exams, you are going to be the part of the economic structure administration of the nation. Okay, Somehow you will be connected in the economic administration, whether as an officer, as an executive, as a policy maker, planning maker, whatever role you will get. You will be the part of this economy, structure, administration. That's why it is very, very necessary that you must be updated with the banking sector and its operation, because banks are the major part of the economy. And how, I will tell you in this lecture, but just now till know the points which I'm telling you. Banks are very, very important sections of the economy, and if you're not able to having the knowledge of the banking sector, how you're going to be the part of the economic structure administration if you're not able to capture the major chunk of the economy? Okay, that's why these exams having the dedicated banking section to ensure the candidate who is going to be the part of this prestigious administration process must be able to handle the situations. He should not be the incapable to handle the situation, or you can say he must be not naive person. All right. Those sections aim to evaluate candidates' understanding of banking concepts, terminologies, and current affairs related to the banking industry. Basically, tracking down the current affairs are important for showing your dedication towards the career growth with that exam. Why? Because suppose something happened on 9th October, something happened on 10th October, something happened on 11th October, and the process will going on. Every day something happens. If you are an individual who just want to crack down the exam, just want to crack down the exam for job, for status, for marriage, for whatever purpose you have. Okay, then let me tell you one thing straightforward. You will track down the current affairs of 9th, 10th, 11th, maybe 12th, 13th, 15th, but after some time you will stop it. Okay, you will not update yourself with the current scenario because you just want to clear the exam. You do not have an intention to build a fabulous career in that field. Okay, because if you have, then you will dedicate yourself on the current affairs to stay updated with everything going on surrounding you. Okay, that's why these exams having the current affairs section related to the banking industry to check out whether the candidates is dedicated one or just want to crack down the exam. Okay, terminologies may be a typical thing to understand because you have to keep a knowledge of various terminologies. Okay, so that's why it's a typical thing, but by the practice you can got it. Banking concepts, I will tell you in a short and simple way. You can easily remember them, but the revision is must and required. All right. Now, job roles in banking sector. For exams targeting the banking and financial sector jobs, having a strong knowledge of banking awareness is crucial because you are going to be the part of the banking sector. And if you're not aware about the banking sector, how would you will go into it? Like, let me tell you one thing. Suppose this is a job opportunity. You have A. Okay. They ask you that you must be a fluent person in English. All right. This is the basic necessity of the job. You are the person who wants to have this job, but not able to speak even you can say English alphabets. If you are that kind of person, what do you think? You will be able to reach to this job? Is it possible? It is clear and clear no. Why? Because you're not even fulfilling the basic necessity of the job role. That same thing happened in the banking sector. Like many people get attracted to the banking area just because of lucrative salary, okay, prestigious job, all right, career growth opportunities, okay, good lifestyle. Just because of these stuff, the people is getting attracted to the examination sectors or banking sectors, but they are not even able to describe basic functioning of banking sector. So what do you think? Are they a perfect candidate to get selected in the banking sector? Honestly, the clear-cut answer is no. Same question you should ask to yourself. Am I the correct candidate to get into the job? You will get your answer. Okay? So that's why if the job roles in the banking sector, you must have a knowledge of the banking awareness. Alright? Helps candidates demonstrate their expertise in banking operations, financial products, services and regulations, essential for job roles in banks, financial institutions and the regulatory bodies. Okay, banks, as I've told you, if you want a job in a bank, you must be aware about it. Financial institutions, why? Because if you are aware about the banking products, their services, then only you can help your client to maintain his financial stability. Okay, just take an example. Suppose you are Mr. X, okay, and you have a client Mr. Z. Mr. Z come to you and said he wants rupees 20 lakhs to maintain his financial stability. Okay, you are required to help him because he is your client, and you having the banking options like X, Y, Z and other banking options. All right, further. So if you are a well updated person, you are having the best knowledge of the banking awareness, you will be able to help him choosing the best option to manage his finance. But if you are not able, because you are not well updated, you do not having a sufficient knowledge of the field, what will happen? You will lead him to choose the wrong option. Suppose X offering the loan at 2%, Y offering the loan at 4%, and Z offering the loan at 6%. Just an example. Okay, but by seeing the interest rate only, you tell Mr. Z, you should borrow the loan from X. Okay, but you haven't taken knowledge of TNC, terms and conditions point. In terms and condition, Mr. Z got to know X asked him to repay the loan within the 1 year. Okay, but he needs a loan for at least 3 years. Now what happened? Just because of your lack of knowledge, you trapped your customer or your client who requires a loan for 3 years, but you ask him to take a loan from the bank for 1 year just for only the interest. So this kind of knowledge comes under the financial institutions. All right. Thereafter, if we talk about the regulatory bodies, then basically like you can say the SEBI, okay, like the RBI, like the NABARD. If you want to get into these prestigious institutions who are controlling the banking sector in the Indian economy, okay, so you must be aware about the banking, operations, financial products, services, and the regulations. Because then only you will be able to check out whether the banks are doing work ethically and lawfully or not. Okay, if you are not aware by yourself, how you can say that the banks are not doing the things ethical or lawfully? Okay, suppose this is the chart in which there are the 10 rules written here how to do things. About how to do things, we have the 10 rules written it over here. And if you are an individual who is working for the regulatory body, then you must be aware about these 10 rules. Then only you can judge X, Y, Z, and A who are supposed to work according these 10 rules. If you by yourself as Mr. B, if you by yourself not aware about these 10 rules, how you could judge them? Right? That's the point. Thereafter, economic awareness. Banking awareness often overlaps with the economic awareness. The banking sector is closely connected to the overall economy. How? Like this is the flow chart. This is the flow chart. And this is also known as income flow of economy. So if you looked at this picture carefully, you will find out it is like this one. First is the household. Second one is the businesses. Third one is the government of India. Government of India. Okay. This, and this. So now you can say there is a flow of money. Okay. Similar thing is from here. Okay. So if we talk about the green lines for the first flow, like the households. Households means me and you. We do shopping, we consume the thing, and whenever we does this kind of thing, we have to pay. Right? We have to pay the certain amount. All right. And this amount goes to the income, to the business, and the business considered it as their business income because they are selling with the thing and then they are getting the money from you. So this is their income. Okay. Then they pay taxes to the government. Right? This is known as the government's income. All right. Then the government presents budget in the parliament about the expenditure, and that expenditure goes to the household. Like if your father and your family member is in the government job, then you are getting the money from the government as your income. Okay. Then again, when we receive money, we will consume, the business pay tax, the government will pay the budget to us, and then the flow will go also. It's a one flow. Second flow is about the blue lines. Like you work for some private firms or the business, then you will get the salary. All right. Then you have to pay the tax to the government, which is the taxation income of the government. And then the government will make a budget, expenditures and all, and give the investment to the businesses. Okay. and then the cycle will continue. So there are two types of cycles I have explained you. First cycle starts with the household. Second cycle will start with the businesses. All right. Now, what is the role of banking awareness in this flow? So let me ask you one thing. You are an individual, okay? You are earning rupees 25,000 as a salary, okay? And you are supposed to pay at least 2,500 as a PF and tax and TDS, whatever you can. Or in simple language, we are asking as a tax. You have to pay rupees 2,500 as a tax. So is it ever happened to the individual? He received 25,000 and then he has to go to the income tax department and pay the tax? Generally not. There is a concept of TDS, tax detention at source. Like once the money comes to your bank account, 2,500 will be automatically deducted from your account. Okay. And this service is provided by which organization? Banking organization in which you having the account, right? Similar things happen with the businesses. Businesses are not going directly to the government to pay their taxes. Like they are packing their bags full of money and then go to the government offices and submitting their money. It is not going to happen. Okay. They are using the banks to pay their taxes to the government. Okay, here the banks are used. And when the government pays the money to the individual and to the businesses, even they uses the bank accounts for the process of that money. So we are using the banks in this particular scenarios, right? That's why banking awareness is necessary. To having the knowledge how all these things functions and what could be the advantage we may have from following this kind of things. All right. Candidates are expected to know about the monetary policies which is formed by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Fiscal policies which is formed by the Government of India. And more precisely, if we talk about it, is the Ministry of Finance, right? Powered by Article 112 of the Indian Constitution. Okay. Day after the inflation, I had explained the inflation detail for you. GDP, again I had explained you, and other economic indicators like the deflation, okay, like the stagflation. Okay. So all these indicators candidates must be aware about so that he could be able to score the sufficient grades in the examination and also prove himself in the career path in which he is going to make his career. All right. Current affairs relevance. Banking awareness includes knowledge of recent developments in banking sector such as new banking regulations, policy changes, mergers, significant appointments in the banking industries and all. Suppose, let's take an example. You are an individual, okay, and you are in the loan department. All right. Basically, in banks, we having the concept of base rate. Base rate, you can say, is the minimum charging interest below which a bank could not lend loan. Okay. So basically, every bank having the base rate, which is nearly now about the 4%. Okay. Below the base rate, a bank could not grant the loan. Okay. He has to maintain the base rate. And what is the relevancy of base rate? I will tell you in the upcoming lectures. Till then, remember, base rate is the minimum charging interest below which a bank could not lend a loan. All right. So suppose if the base rate is 4, so you and your bank was giving the loan at 5% interest. All right, above the, or you can say 1% above the base rate. All right, you're at head of loan department, but suddenly the regulatory body or the government policy changed the base rate from 4% to the 6%. All right, there is a change in the base rate. So if you are well aware about the current affairs, what is going in the surroundings, you will maintain a policy and you will make your base rate from 5 to 7, because you have to maintain 1% above the base rate, and now the base rate is 6%. Then 7 will be the interest you will charge when you grant a loan. But if you are not aware about the thing which happened, then what will happen? You will continue with the 5%. This says 1% below the base rate. And as I have told you, no bank is allowed to grant a loan below the base rate. It means that because of you, your organization will face a serious consequences from a regulatory authority, because you didn't follow them. Okay, that's why current affairs relevance is required. Studying updated with current affairs related to the banking is essential for the competitive exams, as questions often cover recent happenings. Okay, current affairs is a dedicated section in the banking and the economic exams. Okay, so students, basically in this lecture we have covered the introduction part. In the next lecture we will start with the banking history. Till then, just revise all the facts and figures we have discussed in this lecture, basically. Okay, and we will start with the banking history in the next lecture. Till then, just end this lecture and thank you.